Welcome to my video on how to hunt panthers safely. Firstly, you need potent predator bait. You can make this with bluegill fish, which pretty much spawn everywhere, and the easiest bait to catch them with is cheese. The easiest way to guarantee bluegill over rock bass and other fish types that may spawn in the same area is do not reel your line in once you cast. Let the bait sit. More often than not, a bluegill will be the one that bites. You can use eagle eye to spot fish in the water when you have your fishing rod out, and you can pick out the locations of the bluegill schools where you were fishing. Try and cast into their immediate vicinity, and again, more often than not, you will find that you reach a bluegill. Bluegill also have a habit of swimming very close to shore. This allows you the opportunity to shoot them and pick them up. Very rarely will you be able to get a fish that floats into deeper water. As you will find, more often than not, you begin to drown as you can't pick up a fish while swimming. While fully dressed, your stamina drains extremely fast in deep water. If your stamina drains completely while you are in deep water, you will begin to drown, and your health bar will diminish rapidly at such a pace that it is very unlikely you will make it back to shore. When crafting the bait for potent predator bait, you can use 4 different berries. They spawn in different locations throughout the map. The berries that you can use are raspberries, huckleberry, blackberry, and wintergreen berry. The huckleberries grow in the south, around Rhodes, St. Saint-Denis, and the bayou. The wintergreen berries grow up in the grizzlies and the mountains, along with the raspberries and the blackberries, which grow along the riverbanks of the colder regions to the north, mainly around the Dakota River. Raspberries are probably by far the most common found of the 4, though huckleberries in the bayou are also very common. All of them, apart from wintergreen berries, look like rose bushes. You will find them fairly easily using eagle eye, and they will highlight for you. The wintergreen berries are low to the ground and kind of star-shaped green plant with a flower in the middle. It, again, is actually quite easy to spot, as it is highlighted with eagle eye. Additionally, when hunting any large predator, any large prey that requires extreme damage to take down with a single shot, use a bow with poison arrows. You craft poison arrows with flight feathers, which can be gathered from any bird. If you see a flock of birds, ravens, whatever, go into Deadeye, shoot 5 of them, you'll have 10 flight feathers. Oleander sage is used to craft poison weapons, both throwing knives and poison arrows. Oleander sage is found in the bayou. It is a tall plant, skinny, flowered, with a very distinct appearance to it. It has a similar appearance to hummingbird sage, which is used in tonics. Oleander sage is the only sage that can be used for poisons. It is easily found at the back of Shady Bell. If you have reached that stage of the chapters and the gang is located near there, it is actually in their campsite, 4 or 5 plants directly out the back, and you can find them quite easily using eagle eye again. Poison arrows will one-shot everything. They may not die immediately from the shot, but it will do enough damage to force a large predator to back away from you. It will then die from the poison a short distance away, and you just need to follow its tracks to the wounded animal. It is quite often easier to kill the animal and guarantee the pelt quality. Poison arrows over rifles will guarantee a perfect pelt more often than not. This short snippet here shows the location of the panther spawn, it shows the location to bait, and it shows again how quickly potent predator bait can draw it out of the trees. The panther spawn is about 50 meters up in those trees in a small clearing. It will always spawn in that area. If your bait is smoking like that when you look at it with eagle eye, it is working, and more often than not it will draw the panther out. If you do not see that smoke, I am not certain whether that means it's not working or there isn't a predator in the area. It may not have spawned as yet, it may be too close to the last time you killed it. I generally give 24 hours between spawns and sleep or do something else to pass the time. Best time to hunt I find is early morning, 5 AM through till about 8, 9 AM. That's when the panthers seem to be most active, though you can find them at any time. You'll notice up in the top right corner, the panther is starting to come out of the trees now. He's very hard to see. They move very slowly until they attack. Once you spot them, you need to see them first. They have a one-shot mechanic, and they are capable of mauling you and attacking you at rapid pace and wiping you off with a single shot. The main trick with hunting the panthers is to be fully aware of the location of the spawn and to be aware that they are here. They are in this forest and they are hunting you as much as you are hunting them. Keep a close eye on your radar. Once a panther spots you and turns aggressive, he will show up as a red dot. Sometimes they will growl, sometimes they're completely silent. It can be one of the most dangerous hunts that you will undertake, and sometimes when the bait isn't working, you have to go in after them. This is when it is truly dangerous. When you are in here, you need to be crouched at all times, you need to move slowly, you need to make sure that your icon stays grey. I make a mistake in the video after this. I recover it, but it is a good example of what not to do when you are up in here looking for the panther directly. In the case of this one, I managed to find the panther first. His awareness of me is very rapid. They have a huge radius of awareness. He is not even looking at me, yet he becomes aware of me very quickly, and you will see how fast he moves. He is down there in front of me directly now. I only need to move a couple more paces and he will become fully aware of where I am. He will then come straight at me. You need to be aware of this mechanic with the panthers, as when they are moving without Deadeye or Eagle Eye active, their speed is astronomically fast. As you can see, the single shot from the poison arrow does wound him enough to force a retreat. You'll see the red icon of the wounded animal ahead of me. I track him through the forest, finish him off, and I manage to maintain the quality of the pelt in this manner. Do not shoot it with more than one arrow, do not finish it with an arrow, you will ruin the pelt quality. Rifles, more often than not, unless you get a direct headshot, which is very difficult in this terrain against this creature, will quite often damage the pelt and not allow you to get a perfect pelt. Additionally, the poison arrows will work against moose, cow, ox, bull, grizzly bears. It will one-shot all of these creatures without damaging their pelts. In this video here you'll see I again had to follow it up into the forest as the bait was not spawning it out. But in this case I make a mistake. I intend to go up in close to the spawn and lay another bait and see if I can draw it out. I begin the animation to lay the bait and then spot the panther at the same time the panther spots me, but I'm unable to cancel the animation and I do get hit with its initial attack. Luckily, I survive with approximately 10 or 15% of my health and am able to then put an arrow into the panther. But this is a prime example of exactly how fast and how quickly they can catch you off guard when you are up here looking for them. First arrow misses, the second one forces a retreat. Once again, you follow the wounded animal, recover your pelt. Be very aware that you have limited arrows. You can carry 40 standard arrows. You can only carry 8 poison arrows. You can recover your poison arrows from your kills. You will lose your arrows if they miss unless you want to go looking for them, though to be honest, it's more often not worth the effort. The same applies for your poison throwing knives. This can be used against cougars as well, this same technique. There is locations where you can hunt cougars in this manner. The bait and the arrows, again, it's a very similar hunt. Hunting grizzlies and other large predators is a different situation. Panthers and cougars both behave in very similar manners. They are extremely aggressive, they are very fast, and they are very aware of you. You need to see them first, which is often very difficult. You need to pay close attention to your radar map. You will see in this clip here, there is a particular point on my compass that I've placed throughout recording these clips, which actually marks the exact location of the panther spawn. While in the forest up here, I slowly spiral around the spawn. I pay close attention to the other animals around. I watched the deer, I watched the boars, I watched the squirrels and the turkeys. I pay attention to when they spook and what direction they spook from. You will see here the panther is actually hunting turkeys, and I come across the area where it's occurring near his spawn. The panther does not see me, but I see it flitting through the forests. They are very hard to spot. You will get better at it with practice. But if you watch closely, you will see the couple of flashes of movement that caught my eye that allowed me to spot it. To my left just here immediately, that glowing bush, the larger one of the two, not the mushrooms on the ground, is actually a huckleberry. There is 2 of them in that exact area where you can gather them. You can also fish in the river right beside and get bait for the bluegill and create potent predator bait here on this location. As you can see, I've followed the panther. He was aware of me, but he could not see me because of the tree. Before he charged, I managed to get an arrow into him. And once again, you get your perfect pelt. These particular techniques will allow you to consistently and successfully hunt panthers. This spawn point is a guaranteed spawn, at least once every 24 hours. Early morning is your best hunting time. If you make a camp, one thing I've found is if I have an active camp still up, the panther won't spawn. Tear your camp down after you finish resting at the end of the 24 hours. Additionally, if you camp close by the road or close to the location marked, the campsite will actually spawn pretty much to the west of in the forest of the panther spawn. You can wake up in the morning, tear your camp down, tell your horse to stay, and place a bait in a clearing, or move down to the riverbank and place the bait where I initially showed you. Either technique will work, but I generally prefer not to camp in the immediate vicinity, simply because I want to make certain that the spawn works, so I move away and guarantee that my exit from the area is complete. I rest for 24 hours, and then come back and repeat. Good luck. I hope this helps.